Hey guys, welcome back to the Fun Fab Life. My name is Femina, and before we jump into today's topic, I want to thank everyone who has joined the Fun Fab community. We have 100 subscribers, and I want to thank you so much for supporting me and this channel and commenting, and I really want this to be a community. So if you're watching this video, leave me a hi in the comments down below because I would love to get to know everyone in this community. So today's topic is big decision to send your kids back to school or in school, remote school, all the school options. So grab your coffee, green drink, beverage of choice, and let's get into this discussion. So typically around this time, and actually early July, I would do a back to school video, and I have 2 of those videos on my channel already because my kids were going to a year-round school and they typically go back to school in early July. This year, however, we have several different options available to us. This is just my opinion from my perspective based on my experience. And I know a lot of parents and students and teachers are struggling with this year's choices. So I kind of want to get into this discussion and offer my perspective, and I would love to hear your perspective and your challenges. So just leave them in the comments down below because I would love for this to be a community where we can discuss the options and choices we have and maybe come up with solutions or just hear a different perspective. And this is my perspective on the options that we're presented with this year. So option 1, if your kids are going to public school, was the plan B. So depending on what state you are, in my state there's like 3 options. And the governor or the person in charge of the school system is deciding which options the schools will open up with. So here we have what they call option B, plan B, where you send your kids to school 1 week and then they remote learn for 2 weeks, or you can sign them up for virtual academy, which means they are learning online for maybe the fall semester or the fall semester and spring semester, depending on the choice that you pick. Now, here is where the dilemma comes in. If you're a parent that can homeschool, great. And I think a lot of parents have decided that they were going to homeschool because our state announced that the registration for homeschooling went way up this year. So if that's the option you pick, great. I don't think there's that much to discuss. That means that you are able to tailor your curriculum to your child and have the time to homeschool them. So that is amazing. I myself am a working mom, so I have a full-time job. I do work from home, so that is really amazing for my particular situation. But then you have parents that have to go to work. So this is really a video just to discuss those choices, because when I was doing a back to school search on YouTube, I did see that the videos were not as much as it was in previous years, and also it was still the same as back to school shopping with clothes and supplies, and nobody was really talking about this big elephant in the room as to the conflict parents and teachers and even students have about sending their kids back to school this year. So these are just my opinions and my perspectives, and again, go with your gut, go with what you feel is right for your family. So in my case, we chose virtual academy, and I'm going to give you the reasons why I chose that. So like I said, I am a work from home parent and my husband works from home as well. However, we both have full-time jobs, and my job, I'm usually engaged the whole day, the whole work day. So it's not like I would have time to sit with my children and virtual learn with them and figure out, if they have problems. So I touched upon this a little bit in one of my previous videos. I'm not sure which one, but I'm using this time as a life learning opportunity for my kids, because my thought is that I want them to learn to adapt to different situations and not have a fixed mindset I want them to be able to look at a situation and make the correct decision for them. So in this case, we chose virtual academy because, in my opinion, sending kids into school for 1 week and then 2 weeks remote learning is really inconsistent for a child. Secondly, I don't really know what it will look like in schools. I know they are planning to do social distancing. Kids are supposed to stay in the same classroom, but they're not going to be sharing. They're not going to be doing typical things that kids do, which is talking to their friends, going to lunch, playing at recess. So the social aspect of that, I don't really think is what parents think it will be, because I know a lot of parents are saying, well, my kids are missing their friends. In this plan B, there's only a third of the kids going to school at a time, so their friends might not even be in the same rotation that your kids are in. So in my case, I didn't really think about that. I did have a discussion with my kids, and I asked them what they feel and how they feel about this choice. Ultimately, it's up to you as a parent, but you should get your kids involved and have their feedback, because it will take their feelings into account. The second thing I took into account was the actual coronavirus, and the fact that when I registered my kids for school in the first place, they were so adamant of kids being vaccinated in order to stop the spread of disease, or it was really complicated, and the schools gave a lot of pushback about being safe to go into school. So for doctors to say, or the federal government to say that kids must be in school regardless of what's going on with the virus, which in my state the cases are going up. So I've had pediatricians who won't take new patients if their parents decide not to vaccinate. So it's kind of like, I don't know, there's no vaccine for this yet. So I'm a little confused on why they wouldn't do everything to prevent the spread. And also, if you decide to send your kids to school and somebody gets sick, if your kids have ever been in daycare or school or with a bunch of other kids, you know how easily they catch things. So they constantly have runny noses or cough and run fevers. And in this case, if you send your kids to school and somebody gets sick, even if it's not the coronavirus, everyone gets quarantined. And I'm not really sure how they handle that. What is the protocol for that? So I don't know. I am lucky enough to be at home, but here's the thing. I will not be that involved in their learning. So it'll be just like school, where they attend school, they learn the knowledge, and then they have homework, or I'm not sure what the virtual academy will look like, but I'm assuming it will be similar to what they do in school. So the third thing I took into account was that I want my kids to learn how to learn. And by that, I mean, when they graduate from high school, they will have to make a decision on what to do with their lives. And the school system is set up to where you don't really have to think about what you're going to do. You just go to school, pass your classes, and then you go to the next grade. And then when you finish lower school, so up to high school, you have to decide to go to college, go to work, do something else. And a lot of people just automatically either go to college or go to work. And there's a lot of people that spend time not knowing what they want to do. So I am taking this time as an opportunity for my kids, and they're younger, they're nowhere near graduating from high school, to understand that school and learning and what you want to do are all separate things. So they can go to school and learn what the school teaches them, but if they're interested in something else, they can learn that on their own. And then also they can decide what they like and they don't like. So in this situation, do they like working on the computer? That's something that is good to know. It will drive like what kind of lifestyle you want, what kind of career you want, what do you want to do with your time. If you don't like it, then if you don't like sitting in front of a computer all day, maybe an office job is not for you. So things like that, just little things. And then also they have time to work on their particular interests. So because my kids went to a year-round school, we did have that block of time, the 9 weeks where they were in school and did school stuff, and then they had a break for 3 weeks where they could work on their own things. And we've been doing this for a while, so it's a little bit easier transition for us. But I've had my kids who decided they wanted to write a book. One of my kids wrote a book, published it on Amazon, and I'll leave the link below if you want to check it out. But she was in 2nd grade when she did that. Let me think. Yeah, 2nd grade when she did that. She was really proud of it, and now she knows that she can write a book and what it takes to write a book and publish it. And she did that and went on to something else. I have one of my other daughters who loves art and loves drawings, and she has created 2 logos and have sold one of them and did one of them as a pro bono project. So I want them to develop skills that add value and that they enjoy, and be able to practice that, apply that in their everyday lives. So based on those 3 things, and there's a couple other things I did take into consideration, but we decided to go with virtual learning. And I know one of the conflicts people have are for parents who have to actually go into work. What are they going to do with their children? And I don't know what the answer is going to be, because a lot of them do send their kids into school for a full day of learning, but with this new plan B, and it could be a different plan depending on what school that you're going with, they will still have to find somewhere for their kids to be for those 2 weeks where the school is remote learning. So I'm not really sure what the answer will be, what we can do, but as a community, reach out to your other parents, teachers, and even the kids and ask for feedback, because a lot of the conflict comes in when we don't have the information to know which is the best decision. And in this case, you just have to go with what you think will be right for your family. So I hope this was a good discussion and brought up some things and was different from the typical back to school videos, because even though those are fun, ultimately it comes down to actually sending your kids back to school and the decision we have to make as parents as what works best for our family. I would love to hear what your decision is for your kids, or what your kids will be doing for this upcoming school year. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being part of the Fun Fab family. I will catch you in the next video. Bye.